Washington 9, Dallas 6. Really not that much difference. One turnover, and that was the interception in the end zone, and that led to the Dallas 3 points.
Well, you know, it's been a very close game, and maybe even closer than this, because the one turnover, of course, was when the Redskins were going down there to score, and Theismann threw the interception. Then, of course, they missed a field goal themselves.
So, as you said, that interception and that subsequent field goal by Dallas could have been a 10-point turnaround.
I still think the big thing is these two teams, neither offense is a real confident group, the Cowboys nor the Redskins. And I think to get confidence, you need good situations. And when they get those poor situations, either by getting thrown for a loss or blitzed or penalties, they just don't play that well. And neither team, you know, you watch them when it's 2nd and long and 3rd and long, and they both look a little skittish.
Indeed, they did. Raphael Septien will kick off to begin the second half. Back deep for Washington, Ken Jenkins. Septien is responsible for all the points that have been scored in this contest, a 40-yard field goal. He hit another one, but the Cowboys had one of those 6 penalties, and they erased the points off the board. Here comes Septien. Jenkins to about the 21. That's another one of those design kickoffs where they go from one side of the field to the other and then sort of converge on that side.
When you have a kicker that can kick the ball and aim it that well, that's a big play. Raphael Septien put the ball between the hash mark and the sideline, and then you can just take all your cover guys and just boom, just run them down into that area, and it's tough to get a return.
Redskins had the ball at their own 21. Remember last year in this game, the first play of the second half, they came out firing deep, and it worked. Not this time. George Rogers, his first carry of the day. There's Washington and what they did in the first half with their possessions. Started at their own 29. There was the interception. Then they punted. Downs missed the field goal. And at their own 16, they chose to run it out.
I think it was interesting that first play, Pat. One, that George Rogers is in there, too. Their tight end, Donnie Warren, was in the backfield, as he is now, forming an I formation and becoming a lead blocker.
They do that with Rogers more than with Riggins. Rogers hammers over the left side. Randy White knocked him down about 2 yards shy of that first down.
You know, this is a different way to get another big guy in the backfield. We know about the Bears and the refrigerator. With the Redskins, it's their tight end. It's number 85. They put him in with George Rogers, and he becomes the lead blocker, blocking out on a linebacker to the side of the run.
3rd down and 2. Opening seconds of quarter number 3. Theismann, a hurry, and a downer. Jeffcoat put the pressure on him. I don't know why he ducked outside. He did. He slipped. And Washington will have to punt.
Well, it just seems to me that any time they get in a passing down, they get a little too nervous. You know, it shouldn't be that big a thing. I mean, you have to be able to run. You have to be able to pass. But, you know, it seems like quarterbacks are getting knocked around so much today that they don't want to see passing downs anymore.
They're seeing so many different defenses, so many different situation substitutions. It's not that old 4-3 look or the 3-4 look. Here's Cox standing back at his own 6-yard line. Now the punt. Good high kick, and Bill Bates will field it at his own 35. Bates gets it back to the 45. Stuart Anderson made the stop, a punt of 43 yards, a return of 10, so they net 33. Dallas coming up with their first possession of the second half. 3-0 Dallas over Washington. Next week, the unbeaten Bears will be at Texas Stadium to take on the Cowboys. That's an early game. 12:30 Eastern Time, begins with the NFL today, and after that, Rams, Falcons, New Orleans, Green Bay, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Tampa Bay, the Jets, and Minnesota, Detroit. First down, Cowboys, their own 45. They lead 3-0 as we start the second half. Two tight ends set up. Dorsett finds nothing. Neil Olkowitz was the first man in white to get there. Stop Dorsett.
The Cowboys started out the first play of the second half. We see Fred Cornwell, the other tight end, going out with two tight ends, trying to spread that defense out, get those linebackers outside. But if you're going to run, you have to take care of that middle linebacker, Neil Olkowitz. You have to get him blocked if you're going to run against the Redskins.
And getting him blocked is a tough chore. Timmy Newsome now is in with Dorsett in the backfield on 2nd and 11. They lost the yard. Here's Dorsett. No place to go. Monty Coleman was there in a hurry.
Redskin defense does a good job of stringing this play out. You see, it's 2nd and long. The linebackers just come straight down the line. In the secondary, Tony Peters in the middle. That's what they formed a triangle, we call it. A guy outside the runner, a guy inside the runner, and a guy right in front of the runner. That's what you do, try and form a triangle on that guy. That was a perfect triangle.
And no place to go for Dorsett. It's 3rd down and 12. Out of the spread formation, the shotgun is Danny White. Here come the Redskins on a blitz. White goes deep to Tony Hill. Got it. Barry Wilburn was the defender, but the blitz burned him.
Tell you, that's what I thought I was doing. We were talking about that at halftime. Is on that thing when they put Barry Wilburn in. He's a rookie, and he's man-to-man on Tony Hill, especially when you get the blitz. You see, Hill just runs straight up, runs a little into the post. Danny White made a heck of a throw because Darrell Green, the other corner, is blitzing. Watch, from the right side of the screen, just as he's getting ready to throw it, where was Darrell Green hanging on him?
He was falling backwards almost.
Throwing out of the tunnel on your back.
33-yard game, 1st and 10, Dallas at the Redskin 24. White to work to Hill. Couldn't quite stay in bounds. If he had been able to negotiate staying in bounds, he might have gotten down inside the 10.
You know, Darrell Green, the corner, number 28, is a gambler. Now, the Cowboys know that, and the Redskins know it. Look, he looks in. He's not going to knock down Tony Hill. He's going to knock down the ball. Of course, that's a problem. When you miss the ball, then there's no one there except the sideline to get that guy.
A gain of 7, 2nd and 3.
That's the way Darrell Green plays. He's going to take the chance. He's going to come up with some of them, and you're going to get some of them on him.
Tony Hill down to the right, the bottom of your picture right now with Darrell Green right in front of him. Mike Renfro is the man in motion. They give to Dorsett. He whirls, or tried to whirl to the outside, still on his feet, gets down inside the 15. Rich Malott. Redskin who made the stop. Close.
Excuse me.
I'm just going to say close to a 1st down.
You know, that thing that the Cowboys did, I think would be a pretty good thing for the second half. Every time the Redskins go into their pass defense, I would work with Tony Hill on Barry Wilburn. I think that'll give him some big play.
Was Gary Hogeboom standing alongside Tom Landry, signaling plays into Danny White. Dorsett taking some time back deep to tie his shoe. Now he's ready in formation, and White ready to go to 3rd and short. Newsome hammers down to about the 14, is knocked backwards by Darrell Green, but I think he got the 1st down yardage needed. Tony Hill thinks so too. So does Pat Haggerty.
And that's the important thing. It's what Pat Haggerty thinks.
Like it's official now, doesn't it?
There's Tom Landry calling the plays. There's Hogeboom, Gary Hogeboom sending them in. Well, there's a lot of numbers that go there. Did you see that? Well, he has to give them the formation and then the play, and if it's a pass, the pass pattern. I would think with all that could very well be a pass.
Looked like in the beginning it was smoking one of your cigars.
Well, he had a lot of stuff going there. You know, you don't need a lot of stuff for a simple little run.
Tony Hill is wide to the left. Renfro is wide right. They are going to throw. They get it out to Newsome. And Newsome has it slide right through his hands. 3rd quarter. Miami beating the Jets still 7-3, and the Raiders in San Diego tied 13-13. See what happened to Newsome. I think it just slid through his hands.
Well, here was one that Hogeboom was given all these things on it. All it is a play pass. Newsome fakes like he's blocking, goes out, made a good fake and everything, then didn't catch the ball. He thought he put it down, put his hands down like he caught it.
Second down. Ball at the Redskins 13, second and 10. Crosby, the tight end, is to the right, and Cornwell is to the left, so they go with two tight ends. Dorsett is hammered in the backfield by Dexter Manley. Lucky to hang on to the ball.
It looked like Cornwell was hanging on Manley. Manley got up and took a swing, darn near knocked Cornwell's head off. That's the thing you have to do against the running game, is you have to get penetration. Now watch Manley from the right side, 72 there. See Cornwell trying to block him? Well, he blocked him too late. He has to stop, get his head in front of him. He didn't. He got behind him, and look where Manley is, and look where Tony Dorsett was.
Redskins defense is dexterous. Named after Dexter Manley. Third down and 14 at the 17. White steps into the pocket and now is caught from behind. Charles Mann is the Redskin who got his man. Second sack of White, and here comes Septien again.
Charles Mann really made an extension at the end of the play. You talk about a defensive end being able to smell a quarterback. Look at that. He saw him. He was off his blocker, and there was no way Danny White was going to get away from Charles Mann on that one.
Never saw it. Hogaboom will hold, and Septien will try the field goal from 36 yards out. Don't forget that Hogaboom can throw it. Six nothing Dallas with 7:56 left to play third quarter. We thought it would be low scoring, but not this low scoring. Dallas up 6-0. Dallas 6, Washington nothing. Third quarter score. 7:56 left in the third quarter. Cowboys scoring drive, 10 plays, 37 yards. Kept the ball 5 minutes and 10 seconds, and Septien got the field goal. He's about to kick off. Ken Jenkins back by himself. Septien in that direction. Jenkins fields at the 4. Out he comes. Outside the 20, about the 24. Jesse Penn down to make the stop.
Let's watch Charles Mann, number 71, comes close here. He gets good penetration in the middle. You see it, and see him get his hands up. That's why a good kicker like Rafael Septien, it's so important that he gets the ball up quickly. Watch, Charles Mann did get penetration, but Septien not only makes a field goal, but boom, that thing goes straight up in the air, and there's no way you can block it.
Almost impossible to block it when he gets it up that quickly. Here's Theismann giving to Rogers. Rogers is hammered in the middle after a pickup of maybe 3. John Dutton and Dexter Clinkscale on the bottom of the pile, along with Eugene Lockhart.
I think one thing that you have to do is get a little passing on first down. I mean, I know with Riggins you try and get the running going on first down. In the second half, Rogers you try and get the running. But the Cowboys are just playing first down. They're really playing run tough now on first down.
Rogers is that lone back. This would seem to be a passing situation, but they give to Rogers again. There comes that penalty flag down, and I'm sure from where it's thrown, it's going to be a holding violation against the Redskins.
That's right. It's from the official behind the defense, the umpire. That'll be holding on the Redskins, one of their offensive linemen. You know, they can talk about the defense doing this and the defense doing that, but I think that the penalties have done more to stop drives than any human
number 61,
being.
offense.
Ken Huff.
I think you worry about that. The ball was run on a delay to the left, and Ken Huff was away from the play. He's the right guard.
That'll make it 2nd and 16. And the Cowboys come in with the extra defensive backs now. And they put Bates, as we saw in the first half, back in the middle linebacker position. Merrick is in place of Dutton to rush Theismann. Does briefly. Theismann wild high over the head of everybody and out of bounds. Rodgers was the man nearest, if that could have been complete.
Well, you know, the other interesting thing is the guy covering Rodgers on that play was Too Tall Jones. When they go the 7 defensive backs, Bates in the middle, then the end on that side has to come off and spy with the loop. Now watch him. You see Too Tall starting up the field. Now he sees Rodgers. Now watch him come off. You see he starts to fumble, stumble, get his hands up. Big Too Tall almost had an interception. That's pretty good coverage.
I'll tell you.
Had him doubled inside out. Too Tall stumbling into coverage.
3rd and 16. You'd have to figure Monk in this situation. He is split wide to the left. Theismann looking right, however. Can't make up his mind. Jeffcoat has him, and he's in the grass and down. 3rd sack by Dallas. Theismann looked, couldn't find anybody, and Jeffcoat was there.
Hey, the Redskins sure don't have much, as I said before, confidence in that long yardage situation. You can see what has happened there to the passing today. He's been knocked down 3 times and hurried 3 times. Had a lot of stuff happen to him. But, you know, the penalties put him in that long yardage,
right.
and then they can't do anything with it.
Steve Cox, as a result of all that, stands about 5 yards deep in the end zone. Bates is back at midfield. Good kick by Steve Cox. Chases Bates back to his own 42. He hits midfield, hammers back into Redskin territory about their 48, where the Cowboys will have it in pretty good shape. 1st and 10, a 48-yard kick by Steve Cox and a return of 9 by Bill Bates. 6-0, Cowboys lead. Fitzpatrick. The McDonald's airship. McBlimp. This is Dorsett. He gets only a couple before Curtis Jordan cuts him down. There's Big John. One of the things that we hear, I don't think this is divulging anything that isn't known by everyone, that is, if you can get ahead of the Redskins, you can get him out of the game, and that's what everybody tries to do.
That's the thing, and if they can't, then then it's just not Redskin football. They have to be able to play where ball control's the important thing.
2nd and 9. That was Renfro in motion. This is White back to throw. Over to Cosby, batted away by Curtis Jordan, who was right with him. White again was throwing, backing up off the back foot and everything else.
And that's why there's 2 reasons. 1, Curtis Jordan had good coverage. And 2, Danny White, because he was backing up, really didn't get anything on the ball. He kind of blooped it out there. I tell you, I don't know how bad that coverage was. He looked like he was, how bad the pressure was. He looked like he was going right, throwing left, and the ball came out of there like the last shot out of a Roman candle. Bloop, 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 bloop. Nothing on it.
Looked like one of the things that have been furnishing those pictures. 3rd down and 9, 5:20 left, 3rd quarter. Dallas at the Washington 47, leading 6-0. White again under pressure, goes deep for Dorsett. He has it. Touchdown, Tony Dorsett. Covered by a linebacker, and you just can't do it. There is no linebacker around. Even if it was Monty Coleman, you can't pick him up.
You know, Monty Coleman knew it. Dorsett got the step on it. Monty Coleman couldn't do anything except point at him. So he was by him. He was pointing at him like, hey, there he goes. Someone get him. Watch 51. Here's Monty Coleman. He starts inside. He's trying to fake a blitz. Now he has to come out here to the left to cover Dorsett. Now watch. Dorsett gets a step here. The only thing that Monty Coleman can do now is hope that there's some help coming from one side or the other. He didn't have any help at all.
All you can really do is say, there he goes.
And that's what he said. And I don't know that you want to be faking blitzes too much when you have Dorsett man-to-man with no help deep.
Hogaboom to Hole and Septien for the extra point. Dallas leads 13-0. 5:12 left, 3rd quarter, and the Redskin rooters appear to be getting a little bit nervous. 5:12 left, 3rd quarter.
Well, that's a problem with the double zone. The double zone, when the safeties come out here, as they did here, then that gives you a big middle right here. Now Tony Dorsett takes this middle. The guy that has to cover him is Monty Coleman. He can't catch him, and Dorsett beats him. Now watch the two safeties deep. Now see, they turn outside. Now look at that middle. Now there's Dorsett right in the middle. Monty Coleman tries to grab him, can't, just points to him, and Dorsett gets the touchdown.
And Septien is now kicking off, and Jenkins will bring it back from about the 6. Dan Jenkins out to about the 26. Victor Scott made the stop for the Cowboys. Ball must have come loose. They're indicating, though, that Washington retains possession. Chicago Bears go to Texas Stadium next week. The Bears unbeaten, the only unbeaten team. Dallas Cowboys 6-3 and looking to go 7-3 and stay tied with the Giants. And that's the rest of the schedule next week. Rams, Atlanta, New Orleans, Green Bay, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Tampa Bay, and the Jets, Minnesota, and Detroit. The way things are going, nobody's a bargain. Nobody has an easy game. Theismann certainly hasn't had an easy one today. Trying to go to Monk. Walls is with him. No flag.
That was good coverage there by Everson Walls because he had Art Monk all the way. Look, he starts up there in tight coverage, and then they get even, and they're just running shoulder to shoulder. Theismann tried to throw it to the outside, and that was a position that Everson Walls had on the play.
That was excellent coverage, as you said, John. By the way, that touchdown by Dorsett was the 76th of his career, and that ties Bullet Bob Hayes for the all-time Dallas record. Washington only has 66 yards passing all day. Rogers cut down after a gain of about 5 by Victor Scott. Jeffcoat again had an assist.
I'll tell you, they caught him. The reason Jeffcoat had that assist is they caught him in, again, the 4-0 defense, 7 defensive backs in there, but Jeffcoat was coming on a stunt. Randy White worked to the outside. Jeffcoat came to the inside and ran right into the ball carrier.
3rd and 5. Keith Griffin is now the Redskin runner. Theismann gets it out of the bundle. Pass is picked off by Everson Walls, intended for Gary Clark. And Walls, and again, good shape defensively, and here come the boos. It's amazing how soon they forget.
The thing is, I think they're booing out of frustration because the Redskins stayed close the first half, and then they just weren't able to do anything. Again, they want to work on Everson Walls. Here he is man-to-man that time. Gary Clark tried to give him a little out move and then go up. Everson Walls just stayed right with him. The ball was thrown a little short, I think, again, because of the pressure on Theismann, because he really didn't get everything he wanted to on that ball.
Boy, he's given you a clinic, Walls has, on those last 2 passes in his area on how it should be done.
He sure didn't take a bite for the out, did he?
Nope. White gives to Dorsett, who hammers. Dorsett could be gone. Last man was Vernon Dean, and he brought him down. But Dorsett rambles for 27 yards and into Washington territory.
Hey, I think the Cowboys are in a position right now that they got the Redskins worn down. Now they're able to get Rafferty on Okowitz. Now they're able to handle that front group, and now they can get Dorsett there. I tell you, on any time, if a wide receiver makes a block, that is sometimes the difference between a touchdown and a long gainer. If Tony Hill made a block, that would have been a touchdown.
First down it was. Gain of 27 by Dorsett. They give it to him again, and again he hammers for yard. Left side stopped by Neil Olkowitz. You've heard, I'm sure, John Madden and I talk about turnovers and what happens and what's the result. Look at this. In the 5 wins, the Redskins are +8. In the 4 losses, -9. They've lost it twice today on interceptions. One by Walls, one by Fellows.
I think a thing that is as big as that, though, is the fact that they can't play in long yardage. And they were getting that way from not having success on first down and again from penalties.
2nd and 6. Hill and Renfro both wide to the left. White is disgusted with himself. I think you could see that. He let the time elapse at 30-second clock. There's a conference that's going to have a lot of serious thoughts tonight, tomorrow, next week.
Well, you know, Joe Gibbs is one of those guys that is always thinking of offense, and a good head coach is always thinking not what's going on now, but he's thinking about what you do the next time you get the ball. You know, what are we going to do the next time? Now, he looks like he's thinking about it a lot more than Theismann is. Joe has that paper. He's right. We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do this. Theismann's adjusting his helmet.
2nd and 11 from the Redskin 38. White back to throw. A lot of time, this time to Cosby. Out of his hands. Incomplete. Curtis Jordan was near, but that one looked as if it could have been caught. Raiders in San Diego having a good battle. 20-20, third quarter. And still Miami making it 7-3 over the Jets and hanging on to that lead.
You know, Doug Cosby was saying last night that in those passing situations, I'll be playing more as a third wide receiver. He said, one thing you can be assured of, though, I won't go deep. He said, if I do go deep, you can be assured he won't throw it to me.
And you remember a couple of years ago when Billy Joe Dupree was still there, he did a lot of blocking. Now they've relieved him of those responsibilities. Now he's in the slot position to the right. White, down he goes. Charles Mann hits Danny White. That's the 3rd time he's been sacked today.
That may be something that they need. Now watch Mann. He's starting out here. He's starting up the field. Then he takes an inside move. Dave Butts goes to the outside. And as he gets by the inside guy, there's the quarterback, Danny White. That may be the type of play that the Redskins need just to wake them up a little. You know, they look a little lethargic or something out there.
Just over 2 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Mike Saxon goes back to punt for the Cowboys. Ken Jenkins deep for the Redskins. Saxon aiming out of bounds. Jenkins handles it at the 11. Is hit as he gets to about the 15 by Jesse Penn. Cowboys number 59 doing a good job on the special teams. Steve Diassi down there also. 43-yard punt, a return of 9, so they net 34. 1:38 left to play, third quarter. Dallas up 13-0. Pat Summerall, John Madden. It's 13-0. The Cowboys over Washington. Change in defense, perhaps.
Well, you know, one thing that the Cowboys do when they get ahead of you, then you see the 4-0 every down. Here now they think the Redskins have to throw, so they aren't going to see the normal defense anymore. They're going to see the rest of this time 4 defensive linemen, 7 defensive backs on all downs.
One of those defensive linemen is number 60, Don Smerrick, who's a good pass rusher. There they go right by him with George Rogers. Bill Bates, who becomes the middle linebacker, made the stop on Rogers.
You know, that's sometimes a problem with a game plan. You know, you have a plan that when they do that, we'll run at Bill Bates, we'll run at the middle. But then when you get down 13-0 and you haven't scored yet, then those things don't make as much sense Sunday in the third quarter as they did Thursday afternoon.
You have to be willing to make some sort of an adjustment. 2nd and 3. They give it into Rogers, and he is hammered by Jeff Coates and Randy White. If you don't have it, you can't put points on the board, can you? The Redskins were 2nd in the NFL in time of possession after 9 games. And today it's a different story.
You see Jim Jeffcoat there. Last week, Ernie Stautner for St. Louis put in a move he calls crash, where Jeffcoat just crashes to the inside of the tackle. Had a big day against Luis Sharp. Today, he's doing the same thing. That last move he just made was a crash.
He gets better and better. Here's Theismann looking left. Gets it out to Art Monk. Art Monk is hammered out of bounds by Victor Scott. A gain of 10, a Redskin first down as the clock runs down to 19 seconds left in the third quarter. Dallas leading 13-0. There is Ernie Stautner, who's done such a magnificent job with that Cowboy defense. A lot of A lot of different things, a lot of unusual things this year particularly.
Well, a lot more, a lot tougher, a lot more aggressive this year. Last year the whole team felt that they were too passive on defense. This year they're going after. They get up there in the 4-0, boom, and they all go after the offense. They're attacking more.
Heisman back to throw, chased by too tall, fires and throws high out of bounds just to get rid of it. Tell you what, you talk to Ernie Stotner and you listen to him talk. Passive is a word that's not in his vocabulary.
And you get the feeling that Ernie Stotner, if they got down and they didn't have enough defensive linemen, that he could still go in there and play. I mean, that guy is a big guy. Look at those hands on him. If he got those hands, boom, he could still get those hands on his shoulder pad. Big legs. He's a big, strong guy.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you, when he was playing, every guy that I ever talked to that played against him said that was the guy he least wanted to play against anyone in the NFL.
You're talking to one of them right now. Here's Theismann in the pocket deep. He has Monk. And Monk is to the Dallas 23. Victor Scott finally back there with him. But the Redskins now, and that's the last play of the third quarter, pick up 45 yards, a first down, and move it deep into Dallas territory. That's the end of the third quarter with the score, Dallas 13, Washington nothing. We now pause for a word from your local station. RFK Stadium, hail to the Redskins. Right now they're being shut out 13-0, but they're on the move. We begin the fourth quarter. Dallas 13, Washington nothing.
Both teams knew that if there's going to be a big play guy in this game, it has to be Art Monk.
He just made a big one. The pass from Theismann. First and 10 Redskins at the Dallas 23. Theismann retreats, quickly gets it out to Clark. Clark looking for running room, can't find any. Manufactures some, and finally Don Smirek hustles out there to knock him down, number 60.
Of course, I think Charles Mann got the thing started with the sack, got some life. Then here's the big play that the Redskins needed. They had to break someone loose. Art Monk gets by Victor Scott there. Now look, had he not lost his balance there, that could very well have been a touchdown.
Art Monk, the clutch receiver from Syracuse, set an all-time record, as you know, last year. 2nd and 5 they give to Rogers. Rogers hammers to about the 11. That looks like enough for a Redskin first down as Michael Downs made the stop. Dallas leading 13-0, but a lot.
Now this place is getting started to get fired up here. It was quiet there that first half, and then the third quarter. Now the whole Redskin team is up in the sidelines. No one's sitting on the bench. Got things going here, a little spirit going in this place.
Sounds like familiar times now. Sounds like what we remember the stadium being like.
Wait till you hear it if they get one in here.
Monk starts in motion, stops, moves again. Theismann looking for Monk. Now he's looking left, looking center, throwing touchdown. Gary Clark. And now Mosley with Theismann holding, trying for the extra point. Mosley drills it, and it's 13-7.
There's Clark's touchdown here. You see Theismann is looking to the right, couldn't find him. Now Clark is making an adjustment there. He sees Theismann in trouble, and he runs right down the line in the end zone.
And Theismann got the ball to him, and it's 13-7 with 13:29 left. 18, but the penalty markers on the ground again. Ken Jenkins down to make the hit.
That's going to be against Dallas. That'll really put him in the hole here. Now the Redskin defense has to come up with a big play. Tom Landry's thinking his offense has to come up with a big play. Danny White's hoping Tom Landry has a big play.
And this place is really rocking now. Nobody's sitting down anywhere that I can see.
Dexter Manley's leading cheers out there in the huddle.
Illegal use of the hands, number 40.
Can't even hear Pat Haggerty.
First down.
Dallas backed up to their own 5. 6 fallen. 13:20 left to play. The Cowboys huddling in their own end zone.
You know, this whole resurgence here, the Redskins started with their defense. I thought it was Charles Mann's sack of Danny White that started this whole turnaround.
Danny White, the quarterback, with Dorsett deep in his own end zone. White to work to Tony Hill, incomplete. Vernon Dean, the defender.
This is a tough place to pass out of the end zone because, of course, if you get a sack there, then it's 2 points. If you have a penalty, as you're going to pass and you have a holding penalty in the end zone, then that, of course, is a penalty. That gives them 2 points. So when you go back to pass out of your own end zone, a lot of bad things can happen.
That is about the worst place you could be. A lot of bad things can happen. Tony Dorsett is the lone setback. They go with 2 tight ends now. And they give to Dorsett. He breaks out of the pack and hammers and gets some breathing room. Curtis Jordan finally got Tony down. About a half yard, it would appear, short of a first down.
I tell you, but this is great second or third effort on Dorsett's part. It's a trap in there. He gets by that tackle, by that hand tackle. See, that's 2 tackles he gets away from. And then he gets there, and then right at the end, he gives a little more extension to come very, very close to a first down.
Close
They're going to measure it.
So they'll bring out the chains. Good block on Dave Butts. Close to the first down, and it could be a very critical, crucial first down. It is.
Hey, it was big for a number of reasons. One, we talked about. Now to pass, Danny White doesn't have to go into the end zone. 2, if they do get stopped, they have room for their punter, and they have room to work now, room to breathe now.
Ogaboom signaling in the play. Theismann and Gibbs on the opposite side of the field. Renfro and Hill come wide to the left. Dorsett remains behind Danny White. On first down, Renfro swings in motion. Darrell Green goes with him. The handoff is to Tony Dorsett. Again, he dodges a couple of tacklers, gets out to about the 18. Curtis Jordan again up to make the hit.
You know, the funny thing about that play, Pat, is Dexter Manley couldn't see Tony Dorsett. He got right in behind his blocker, and Manley was looking for him and couldn't find him, and Dorsett just scooted by him. Let's see if we can see it here. When Manley starts to work up the field, you see him here? Now he can't see Dorsett right there. Of course, he was being held, too.
By Posteric, who's 6'9". Easy to hide behind. That's Newsom in motion. Second down. White back to throw. Goes to Cosby, and Cosby juggles and comes up with it finally. Doug Cosby used that 6'6" advantage. Neil Olkowitz was wrapped around Cosby. Look at this effort.
I'll tell you, the second effort was a big one because one of the Redskins was diving for the ball as Cosby was. And Cosby came up with it. You see the ball there. It hits out of his hands. It's knocked up in the air. And there comes, I think, Vernon Dean from the outside. And he was diving for that ball, too.
Neil Olkowitz had a hammerlock on Cosby. No flag. First down, Dallas. They move it out of the shadow and out of that end zone. Newsom and Dorsett are behind Danny White. Redskins overshift. Handoff is to Dorsett, and he's wrapped up after a yard. And here they come again with the yellow flag. Dave Butts made the stop.
Again, it's going to be in the area offensive holding against the against the Cowboys. What if they were holding Dave Butts? He's the guy that made the tackle. Kurt Peterson blocking there on him.
Holding number 65. Offense
Sounds
Still
like you're
first
right.
down.
That was Kurt Peterson's number 65 blocking against Dave Butt's number 65. Butts got the tackle and the hold call.
That's the 8th time holding has been called against both teams in this contest. 10:50 left to play. 1st and 20. Cowboys operating from their own 19. That's the penalty story. White to Dorsett. To the outside, and there's nothing there. Charles Mann.
Mel Kaufman was the first guy up there, the linebacker. He got penetration outside and made Dorsett cut back to the inside. Here we can see Kaufman. He's number 55. He's going to come up to the right of the screen. See, and get in the backfield right there. See, he's there. Now, that makes Dorsett, in fact, he darn near tackled him. That made him stop. Then he had to cut back in onto all those Redskin jerseys.
2nd and 19 from the 20. Cowboys desperately trying to get out with some respectable room so they can perhaps. Ooh, this one was in a pack and almost picked off by Vernon Dean, intended for Renfro. That was a dangerous throw.
Hey, Vernon Dean knew he had that. He was so upset he started doing exercises. Watch him. He's there. He gets a good read on it. He gets a good jump on it. Does everything a defensive back has to do. And then go, oh, he let that thing slip through his hand. So he'll just do an exercise. He'll try and touch the ground.
That's it. That's serious when they start doing exercises.
You never know. Some guys do exercises. Some guys hit themselves in the head.
Yep. Well, that's an exercise.
It's utility.
3rd down, 19 from the 20. No shotgun, but White back to throw. And out quickly to Tony Hill. That looks like it's going to be about a yard short of a 1st down for the Cowboys. But it does give them some breathing room.
I'm sure it's going to be short, and Tom Landry in this situation will probably decide to punt. Hey, that depends on where they get the spot, but it looked like where they spotted it from here that it's short. In fact, it is.
Saxon is already in the game. It was a gain of 18. They needed 19.
Tom Landry has decided we are not going to take any chances here.
9:12 left to play. Clock is still running. Just over 9 minutes left to play. Cowboys 13, Redskins 7.
Well, that was a heck of a drive by the Cowboys to get the ball out here. This is a lot different field position than had the Redskins held them down there.
Saxon back to punt. Redskins have Ken Jenkins back deep. Saxon gets off a honey. Jenkins retreats inside his 10 to about the 8. Can't find any room. Gets to the 10, and that's as far as he can get before Victor Scott is down to hammer and knock him down. 4-8 on the punt, a 54-yarder, a return of only 2, so it's a net of 52. You don't get much better than that. The way things are in the Eastern Division, the Giants, of course, have already beaten the Rams, so their record is 7-3. Dallas trying to match that. Washington 5-4. The surprising Eagles 5-5, and St. Louis 4-6. The Bears, in the meantime, have a very commanding lead. In fact, if they win next week, they would clinch the NFC Central Division title. There's Lockhart at middle linebacker. So the Cowboys are expecting a run, and they got it. Redskins use Rogers, and they get outside the 15, about the 18, before Ed Jones makes the stop. Bill Bates and Lockhart alternate in this situation now.
Well, that's the situation that the Cowboys are playing a chess game with the Redskins. In other words, if they think they're going to pass, they want Bates in there at the linebacker. If they think they're going to run, they want Lockhart. They guessed right on 1st down. They're guessing again, keeping Lockhart in, that the Redskins will run again.
2nd and 6. They do have 6 defensive backs. They give again to Rogers, and Rogers gets very little. Lockhart was one of the tacklers. Don Smerick was there as well, number 60.
Well, now you're sure Lockhart will go out and Bates will come in on this one. You see, they had the 6 defensive backs. If Lockhart's in there, then that's a run. Now Bates comes in. Now they have 12 guys in the huddle. That's illegal what they're doing right here. See, Lockhart can't wait that long to go out. They got 12 guys in the huddle. They put in a rule against that. You see what they did? They put him in and took him out. What the Cowboys just did is illegal.
He comes in, he's got to stay, doesn't he?
That's taking the Chesapeake game one step too far. Although they played it right because the Redskins ran and they kept Lockhart in there.
And they didn't make the first down. Now here comes Bates.
He's coming in as a punt returner now. He's
That's
sure
right.
that they stopped him.
That's right.
I wonder if Joe Gibbs is realizing now what they were doing, because I know that he wanted to run against the 7 and pass against the other. And they had 12 guys in there when they called their play.
They're going to measure, but it looks to be about a foot short of that first down.
And now what do? You're 6 points down. You still have over 7 minutes to go. I think if it's not a first down, I think you have to punt. Now, it's a tough thing to do. See how that ball is placed? The ball is placed sideways because that's how it went down. Had the ball been straightened out, that could have been maybe a first down.
Would be close, but they're going to send in the punting unit. And I think it might be an unpopular decision, but it's an intelligent one.
I think they're going to take a timeout, Pat, and maybe reconsider, but I still think he has to do what he decided to do. Now he's going to think about it, and someone is going to have the opportunity to maybe talk him out of it.
Joe Gibbs seems to be like the person who, once he has made his mind up, nobody's going to talk him out of it. 13-7, Cowboys lead. Pat Summerall, John Madden. It would appear that the Redskins have made their decision, and that is that they're going to go for it. Go for the first down. It's 4th down and inches. 7:12 left to play. Dallas leading 13-7.
You know, the Redskins and Joe Gibbs could be putting their entire season on this play.
Boy, isn't that so?
You know, yesterday he said that this is a crossroads. This is the one we have to win. Now, of course, Sonny Jurgensen is in the booth on the radio saying they ought to pass for it. The other thing they could do is run for it. And the third thing is just try and draw the Cowboys offside, you know, with that penalty type play.
With a long count, yes. Theismann now asking for quiet. They have Riggins in the backfield. That's Clint Didier who moved, and it's Riggins over the left side, and he might be... Well, he was almost gone. Shades of the Super Bowl a few years ago against Miami. He went left. Everson Walls knocked him down, but he got the first down and a lot more.
I'll tell you, they bring the old cowboy in to do the job. When it has to be done, you give it to Riggins. I think if I had a short yardage situation and I had to have it, I think I'd want that big bull high-stepping through there for me.
Well, Michael Downs knows he met a bundle. Riggins hurdled over the left side, got the first down. The Redskins at their own 26 with 6.5 minutes left to play. Rodgers is back in place of Riggins, and they get to Rodgers, and he gets only a couple over the left side. Randy White and Eugene Lockhart.
That was a gutsy decision by Joe Gibbs, and you always wonder about that, but it worked for him. So now you go to the next step. Now you look ahead. Now you got that first down. Now you get to keep the ball. Now it's what you do with it.
2nd and 7. Redskin football at their own 29. Clock running at 5:58 left to play. Dallas up by 6. Clark was the man in motion. Too Tall Jones almost beat his man, did, and now Jeffcoat chases Theismann and gets him down. 4 sacks. Give an assist to Too Tall Jones, who made Theismann go that way, and to Jeffcoat, who got him down.
Well, that's what you call flushing. What Too Tall did from the left of the screen, he's going to flush Theismann out. He trips a little right there. He sees him now as he's trying to throw, brings the ball down, then he's flushed out to the left side, and that's where Jim Jeffcoat is. You talk about the drama, going for it on 4th down and then coming up and losing the yardage back. Now you're 3rd and 12.
Jim Jeffcoat, by the way, Dallas has 4 sacks. Jeffcoat has them all. 3rd down, 12. Griffin in the backfield. Theismann gets away from Randy White. Ball is batted away from Gary Clark. Ron Fellows again at the right place, right time. Randy White had a shot at Theismann. He's disgusted with himself, but Fellows Another outstanding play.
I don't know how Theismann got away from Randy White to throw this ball out here to Gary Clark, but that was really a pretty good throw. Clark should have had that ball. Watch the rush, and we see Randy White starting to the outside. Watch him here. Theismann just does a spinner on him, steps out of Randy White, and throws it through at Too Tall Jones somehow.
And now Steve Cox does have to punt. Bill Bates back deep for the Cowboys. Another good kick. Bates all the way back to his own 26. Dodges one man. Gets away from another. Not the rest of them, though. Wansley and the rest of his special team group led by Rich Malott down there in a hurry. 51-yard punt by Steve Cox. A return of 6. They net 45. Just running down some of today's scores, the Bears remain unbeaten 24-3. Green Bay over Minnesota 27-17. Cincinnati 27-10 over Cleveland. Buffalo shut out Houston 20-zip. Seattle 27, New Orleans 3. Philadelphia in overtime over Atlanta 23-17. Tough year for the Falcons. New England 34, Indianapolis 15. Tampa Bay gets in the win column, finally shutting out St. Louis. Pittsburgh beat Kansas City, and the Giants beat the Rams. Danny White, first down, Cowboys, their own 32. Throwing, surprising. Tony Hill makes one man miss, but Mel Kaufman doesn't. Brings him down. Injured Redskin looks like Curtis Jordan.
That was that little quick pass that you throw, a three-step drop, throw it out there to Tony Hill. It's a safe pass, and you just have some of those passes like that that you use in lieu of runs.
Tony Hill has caught 6 passes today. He already led the NFL in reception. He caught 6 today. He has caught 6 today for 119 yards. So a good day for Thrill Hill. Nothing doing there. Dorsett, Dean Hamill, Dexter Manley, both there. Those games are still in progress. Marino and the Miami Dolphins lead the Jets 14-10. That's also in the 4th quarter. Raiders and San Diego tied at 27 apiece. 3rd and 8 at RFK. Dexter Manley encourages the crowd to be more vocal. 3.5 minutes left to play, and the Cowboys leading 13-7. Clock really running the 30-second clock. They do get it off. White to Hill. And they'll move those chains. First down, Dallas. 7 catches, a gain of 17. First down, Cowboys.
And that was one of Danny White's big completions here, 3rd down. You know, had this been incomplete, of course, the Redskins would get the ball back. Now the Cowboys have the ball first down, and they're at midfield.
Remember, the Redskins used one of their timeouts to make that decision to go for it, so they only have 2 left. Cowboys have all 3 of theirs. Clock running at 2:52 left to play. Dallas 13, Washington 7. Newsom is the wide receiver to the right. They give him a draw play to Dorsett, and he crashes down to about the Redskin 40 before Curtis Jordan trips him up. A gain of 9 for Tony.
See what happened to the Redskins. The fact that they didn't take did take a timeout, then that means that they still get to use the 2-minute warning as a timeout. So they'll still have a package of 3, but the first thing they have to do is get this Cowboy offense stopped.
They measure for the first down. They gave Dorsett 9. He's a foot. A short foot, if there is such a thing. Short of the first down. Dexter Manley's measurements are not necessarily accurate. Dave Butts just limped off to the side of the field. They've lost already Darrell Grant. Looks like that doesn't look like anything but a cramp to me. How would a cramp dare get into that leg?
They would have a lot of area to work in.
Beasley has taken his place. Tom Beasley. 2nd and 1. Dorsett is about 9 yards back of White. Newsom, who was closer to him, got the handoff and got the first down before Rich Malott made the stop. That's the 2-minute warning. Dallas 13, Redskins 7. It's been a classic battle, just as we expected. Minutes to go as you look at Russ Grimm, the all-pro guard for the Redskins, over on their sideline, and his adversary on the other side, Randy White.
They've had quite a battle. You know, it's funny. You know how tough guys always laugh when I ask Russ Grimm, you know, how is it to play Danny White? What's it like? He just... And then last night we asked Randy White, what's it like to play against Russ Grimm? And he goes, that's all they answer. They just go,
one of the best.
Yeah. That means you don't even have to talk about that. Don't ask that question.
Cowboys have no turnovers today. That's been a factor. This is Newsom. He hammers down to about the 32. Over the years in this rivalry between the Redskins and the Cowboys, a sweep, one team winning both, has been rare.
You know, it's also interesting, as you said earlier, what Danny White said last night. He said, when you're a Cowboy, said the most exciting thing and the biggest thing that can happen to you is to beat the Redskins in RFK. He said these fans, he said, are the toughest fans that you ever have to play against. He said he felt over the years that they're the same people here and in San Francisco, that they just take this group when the Cowboys play here and they bring them in RFK Stadium. And when the Cowboys play out in San Francisco, they take the same group and boom, put them in Candlestick Park.
It does seem like it, doesn't it? This is RFK, and tonight on CBS, this is the lineup. 60 Minutes, Murder, she wrote, Crazy Like a Fox, Trapper John M.D. It's been a pretty good afternoon of football right here at RFK, and there's a guy who's done a lot of knockdowns, deflections, and had a good day. Ed Jones.
Tough to throw over at his side. You know, the royal couple's been in town, and that's a big story here along with this game. I wonder if they watched the game. I mean, do you think they would, like, watch the Redskins and the Cowboys or what?
I would think so. I would think so.
I wonder who they'd root for.
Britain.
Cowboys are supposed to be America's team.
Newsom got the handoff, was hammered right at the line of scrimmage by Curtis Jordan. 1:50 now left to play.
Hey, this is a frustrating situation when you're down by 6. Things have been going tough for you all day. You have to take your timeouts. You may get the ball back, but when you do, it's not going to be in very good position. Now, the Cowboys, they would love to get a first down here because then they could really run the game out. If they don't, then they're probably going to have to make a decision to go for it on 4th down, punt, or go for the field goal.
Tom Landry in conference with his quarterback, Danny White. Jim Myers on his right, and that's Drew Pearson just on the left side of the picture. There's Drew. Jim Schaffner on Tom's left. They're making that decision right now. By the way, this telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Washington Redskins and the National Football League is prohibited. Dallas has the ball. Redskins are out of timeouts. It's 3rd and 4 at the Redskin 33.
If the Redskins could not only stop him but throw him for a loss, they could knock him out of field goal position. Right. So I'd anticipate some form of blitz here.
Tony Hill comes wide to the left, faced by Darrell Green. It looks like a blitz is coming. And Danny White takes some time to read it, or try to. Gives to Dorsett, and Dorsett is hammered right at the line of scrimmage. Vernon Dean was the first man there, and now they have to make that decision you were talking about.
And that's what the Redskins were thinking about. You see Vernon Dean up there in the backfield. He penetrates. They were trying to trap in the middle, but the Redskins got 4 or 5 white jerseys into the backfield, and they knocked him for that loss that they had to.
Saxon is in, so they have made the decision to punt. Clock is still running with now 1 minute and 18 seconds left. Remember, the Redskins have no timeouts.
And in this situation, the Cowboys can take the penalty if they're going to punt, because Saxon would just as soon
Sure.
punt that ball with the penalty.
That's what they're going to do. Actually, he probably would rather punt it from a little bit further out. He'll let that 30-second clock run out, run it down to less than a minute now, 52 seconds left to play. And that's the end of the 30-second clock. Now, you know, people forget, I think, John, how much pressure is on the person who snaps the ball to the punter, and that's Rafferty in this case.
Well, that's the thing. That's, you know, the guy that's been playing in there all day, getting pounded around.
Game. Offense.
He has to make that perfect snap back to the punter, because as sure as you could be that the Redskins were going to blitz on that last third down, you can just about be assured that they're going to come on a block on this down, on a punt block.
They have people up there that look like they might be trying to do just exactly that.
Might as
Rafferty,
well.
excuse me, Rafferty, the snapper, gets it back to Saxon. Saxon aims it for out of bounds. It comes off the side of his foot and goes out of bounds, and it could have been a lot worse. The Redskins get it, and the clock is stopped with 46 seconds remaining. Redskins have no timeouts now left. The way things have happened now, the Cowboys got ahead on 2 field goals by Raphael Septien and then a touchdown to Dorsett. Now here's the Redskins
This
getting
is the
on the
one.
scoreboard.
Remember, Joe Theismann started to scramble to the right, found Clark here in the end zone, and that was the one touchdown that the Redskins have scored all day. I think they'd like to get down into that position to at least try to do that again.
No timeouts remaining. 13-7. Redskins have the ball, their own 26. First down, 46 seconds. Keith Griffin is in the backfield. Theismann back to throw. Going to have some time. Outside of Monk. He's got it. Monk out of bounds. Everson Walls knocked him out of bounds, but Monk, a gain of 25 just inside Dallas territory. It's not over yet.
This is the thing, you know, you always wonder about these prevent defenses. Why do they get so loose? Why do you give an Art Monk at the end of the game? Why do you give him this much room, that big a cushion, so that Theismann can throw this and let him get out of bounds? You know, that's a tough, and really, you can't play a prevent like this when you only have a 6-point lead.
That's the man they usually look for, number 81, and he's put wide to the left. Clark is wide to the right. Theismann back to throw. He has some time now. He gets away. Jeffcoat lets him go. Jeffcoat had him. That would be his 5th sack of the day. They said he was in the grass.
Now Theismann's trying to line up, get his team lined up, no huddle, calling the plays on the line of scrimmage.
Clock going with just a half minute left to play. Ed Jones is in the backfield, and that'll stop it for a while. Too Tall was there for the handoff in case he wanted to.
Yeah, but that's a tough penalty against the Cowboys, because now the Redskins, they had to not line up. I mean, just line up with no huddle. Now at least the clock will stop. Now they can get back and huddle up.
72.
Ed Haggerty's called so many penalties, he's out of the voice.
Oh, yeah, he can't even talk anymore, but that penalty really hurt the Cowboys, because now, look, the Redskins can regroup, have a nice little huddle, talk about it. They got 5 yards, clock stop, slows everything down. That's an advantage, Redskins.
Second down, 16, 18, 28 seconds left to play, and Theismann back to throw. Jeffcoat again is there. Jim Jeffcoat. Don Smerrick also there. And Theismann is down. 6 sacks by the Cowboys, and they haven't done it blitzing. They've done it with the front 4.
Well, and they've done it with one guy in the front 4. I think this guy has all the sacks.
He does.
He has really come to be a force in this league.
Now they stop the clock with 20 seconds remaining. It's third down and 24. The Redskins at their own 37. Cowboys trying to stay even with the Giants, who beat the Rams earlier.
You know, I would.
Excuse me, John.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I would think that I would give McQuaid some help over there.
Take 2 seconds off. Should be 18.
Take 2 seconds off. Should be 18, and that's what we've got. Third down. Theismann back to throw. And again, they put the pressure on him. Keith Griffin hustles out of bounds, hit by Fellows, didn't get him down, and Griffin got out of bounds with 8 seconds to go. Now, is there hope?
Well, I think you have to take one of those last shot things. There's 8 seconds. You can do two things. Try and throw another one quicker. Of course, you have to get the first down and then throw for the end zone. Or you can just throw the last shot where you put 3 guys out on the side and try and get a tip, like the Redskins are doing. 3 guys over here on this side.
4th down. Going to have to throw it up and hope you get a break. That's what Theismann does. Clark is down there. Batted around. Cowboys come up with the interception. There were so many people there. I'm not sure it was Everson Walls, his second of the day. And the clock has run out, and the Cowboys have won it. Dallas 13, Redskins 7. That's the final. Second time this year. Don't forget to stick with us for the NFL wrap-up show with Brent Musburger, who will tell you what happened around the league today. That's coming up next.